Hi everyone, I am Pratyush Pandey from Educational Series. Today I have come up with a new topic, Heat Part 2. So let's start this amazing video which is a part of Class 7 Sprint Series. Please subscribe my channel. It's a part 2 video and please see the part 1 video and it's as same very informative. Topics that were covered in part 1: heat, temperature and thermometer and the types of thermometer and maximum minimum thermometers, and these were topics covered in part 1, and here are the topics to be covered in part 2: heat radiation, heat transfer, conduction, convection, sea breeze, land breeze which are part of convection, then radiation, and reasons why we wear summer light clothes or cotton clothes or white clothes in summer and darker clothes in winter. So let's turn the page over. Heat transfer. So first, heat transfer is divided into 3 parts. Okay, so conduction, convection and then comes radiation. Okay, so now let's see each of them. Okay, so now let's see in conduction. Conduction is in solids, first of all, important point. Only in solids. Now when it gets heat up, I told you that this atoms get excited. Now when the atoms are very tightly packed, so this atom gets excited. One sec. Yeah. So they excite this atom, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, and this phenomena goes, and till the whole material is heated. Now and also it depends on the type of material for the speed of conduction. Okay, so now suppose conduction, let's see again. Conduction only happens in solid, and the conduction is the movement of the particles of the knot. Heat is transferred from one atom to another, not the particles are moving. The heat is transferred from one atom to another till the whole substance is heated. Movement of heat. Transfer of heat. Okay. Now let's see convection. Convection happens in fluids. Now what are fluids? Fluids are which can flow. What can flow? Water and gas. So these fluids, this happens in only fluids, in water and gas. So what happened? Let's take first example of water. We have put some water on boiling, and there is a Bunsen burner here. It's fire. So now what happens, that this area of water is closest. This area is closest to the Bunsen burner or the heat source. Then it will get heated, and then now you may have learnt in earlier classes. If not, then remember that the heated air or fluid, heated air or fluid or water, whatever. Not solid. Heated air or water is lighter than the cold air or water. Cold air water is heavier. Okay, so now what will happen? This water is cold or hot. Now it has become lighter. It will go up, and now all the air this will go up. Then what will happen here? So of the you must have seen that all the water is up and there it is nothing, empty. No. So what happens there, that now the cold water rushes in the place of hot water to take its position. Now cold water down, then hot water up. Then hot water will get a little cooler, and this cold air will get water. Then it will again go, and this cold air will come down, and this process repeats and repeats and repeats till the whole substance, all the water source or air fluid is hot. Now let's take example of air. For example, here is the sun source, for example, and you take a container and the heat air will go up and heavier cold air will come down. Then this will become hotter and this will become colder. Then this process will repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat till all the air becomes hotter. Now radiation. This was conduction, solids, this is in fluids, and this comes radiation, which can be in anything or mostly in solids. So what happens when a solid, or let's take example solid, is hot, then if it's not even contact, and also you should see one point in conduction that here this atom, this if they are two separate objects but they are close, then it is not conduction, it will be radiation. But for conduction it's necessary that the objects must be in contact. So radiation is when the objects not in contact. When these objects get heated, when it gets heated, then what happens, then it radiates energy. It radiates the heat energy outwards. It gives off heat energy, literally you can say. That's why the sun radiates its heat energy toward the earth. So suppose there is earth and this is sun, so this energy is radiated throughout, and this radiated energy reaches the earth. So this is radiation is a form where the source radiates or gives off some light to other things, or it just gives off some things may absorb it and get hot. Now let's know more about these three topics on the board. Okay, heat transfer. Now we just learnt about what is heat transfer. So I'll just give you a quick revision that heat transfer is the transfer of heat. When one atom gets excited, then it does not move, it just shake on its place, and the other side of the atom also get excited, and this moves on till all the atoms are excited, and this excitedness of the atoms is heat that produces heat. So to heat object, what we can do is to excite atoms, one or two of it, and then the whole object will be excited, or just heat it and it will get you the results. Now heat transfer. Now there are various kinds of heat transfer. Heat transfer is transfer of heat from one part of the object to another part, or one place to another place. So there are three types: conduction, convection and radiation. Let's see each topic better, as we have already seen on the board. Three topics: conduction, convection, radiation. Conduction we are coming. So here conduction. Okay. Here is the conduction. For example, this red represents hot, and this blue represents cold. Now you will learn more about this in each topic one by one. First, let's see this animation. So now when this, because suppose now if your friend or there is a beggar there out there, and suppose a big person or Ambani comes in front of him, and then will it happen that the Ambani will give the beggar money, or will a beggar take Ambani, take my 10 rupees? No, beggar will not do like that. Ambani will give it because he is richer, he has more, so he will donate some. Same way, when the more atoms are excited in this part of the solid, and also conduction happens only in solid. So, and this part is cold, and they are in contact, you can see. So the heat travels, the atoms excite this parts also, atoms they get excited, and this also heats up until they both are of this transferring keeps on until they both are of same heat. Okay, now there is convection. Okay, now convection is what? That heat flows to, suppose they are around nearly, now they are just close together. So this heat from these, some heat is taken out, and this heated air, this air is heated here, fluid, and it goes and heats this object also. So this is convection, where the flow of heat, the heat flows, and which we will learn about it later. And here the radiation, where a heated object radiates its energy, radiates heat energy to cool itself and to also spread it around. Now here you can see three of those. Conduction, you can see that near a hot flame, they all get excited till they reach your At the end, convection, you can see that here the fluid is getting hot and it goes up to the where the place is cold, and you feel the heat and radiation that this heat is given off. This fire gives off heat, and you can feel heat on your warm hands. Now let's see each of them topic by topic. Conduction. Conduction, as I have already told you, and it's quite easy. You can see from this animation all. So here, these atoms are energized and vibrated. Vibration. So this atom, first step 1, this atom, this is a metal, and these atoms get excited, then it excites others, then others are excited, till throughout the material is hot and the vibration spreads throughout the material. And here's a metal. Okay, so what we conclude from that, it happens in solid, conduction happens in solid, and it's a transfer of heat from one atom to another atom to another atom to another atom till the whole material is evenly heated. Now let's see convection. Before moving on, it's an important point in conduction that conduction can be transferred can be in conductors. Conductors and insulator are two kind of materials. Insulators that do not allow transfer heat or allow heat to pass through them, and conductors or the metals allow heat to pass through them or to radiate heat throughout it. The atoms get excited by heat, but in insulators, what happens that this is the opposite. Insulators does not allow. They say that मैं जल जाऊंगा, even if I'll burn, then I will not let you pass. So such as wood and paper, these all do not allow heat to pass through them, while metals, iron, copper, these all allow heat to pass through them. And also electricity, conductors, insulators, having to learn in electricity. If you not see my electricity video in that channel, and subscribe it and then see and like this video. Convection. Now what is convection? Convection is a transfer of heat in fluids. It happens in fluids, water, air. These are two fluids with flow. Water and air can flow, so these are fluids. It happens that the higher the lower, the hotter thing or hotter fluid flows to and take the place of colder fluid, and the colder fluid rushes to take the place of the hotter fluid. As you can see here suppose there is a Bunsen burner, and this hot air rised up and it got here, and now the place gets empty, so the cold water rushes and takes the place. Now this hot water gets little colder, warmer, and this becomes more hotter, then it goes and this comes down, then it gets hotter, and this repeats till, as obvious, they get off same heat or same temperature, and this process continues and a whole water in the beaker gets up, and these are not possible in a vacuum, because these fluids are not present in a vacuum. Now let's see land breeze and sea breeze, which are result of this amazing phenomena, convection. So sea breeze. Now what happens in the day that suppose now this land, it's getting warmer because water warms less quickly than the land. Land warms very quickly because there are a lot of area and land absorbs heat. So now from the sun the heat gets heated, and this is comparatively colder. So now air above this air will get hotter because the gas is hotter, and then the convection and the hotter will be there. It will become the hotter, the air will become hotter. Then this hot air will rise up, and the cold air from from the ocean, the cold air, because this water is cold, so the cold air will move towards to take the place of that warm water and warm air, and this warm air goes here, that again it gets cooled because this was hot, and when it touches the sea it gets cold. then it again moves here because now, and then that cold day which came here, it becomes hot and goes, and then again cools and comes and goes and goes and goes, and this process continues to make sea breeze. Sea breeze happen in day, first thing to remember. And the sea breeze when the cold hot air moves, rises from the land to the ocean, and the cold air moves from ocean to land. Now let's see land breeze. This is all PPT, the writing part, and the animations are in the PPT. The PPT whole is in the description box below. Land breeze. Now reverse happens. As now the land was getting cooler, hotter earlier, and it gets cool also earlier. So this water is now, because it has gained lot of time and it has gained a lot of heat. Now what will happen, that this is comparatively hotter than the land because the heat is radiated, all the heat is radiated, and it's now cool. So now what happens, that the hotter air here over the ocean, the hotter air moves towards the land, and the colder air rushes to take its place. Where on the land this gets hotter, and on land that air gets cooler, so it moves in the place, and this again that air comes, and when this air hotter is coming, then cooled air moves, then again it becomes hot and it becomes cool. So when this process goes and goes and goes, that causes land breeze. Remember, land breeze happens in the day, and night, and land breeze happens when the cold air move from land to sea, while the hot air moves from sea to land. Okay, so now we'll see radiation. Here comes buddy, radiation. Now radiation is very important, as you can see in this animation. What happens, that it around the air particles, see, you can see that heat is given out, and these atoms which were now not moving, they absorb the heat and get excited and start moving, making the air colder. Also you can see that radiation, the heat from the sun comes out, and this animation was quite good, I liked it. And the radiation comes out and it heats the earth, because this is a very hot body and the air is radiated. Then that radiation is gone ahead and it reaches some solid part, where the solid where this falls gets heated up. And also to remember that radiation can happen in a vacuum, because it does not need a medium. So radiation can be possible in a vacuum. That's how space is a vacuum, and sunlight from the space comes to earth. Yeah, okay. So this you can see there, it shows that the moment another process called radiation comes to act to transfer the heat radiated by the sun to earth. And this is what I have told you. Please see this animation once again. When this solid, it comes contact with the solid and these get heated, same case sunlight comes. Okay, so let's proceed on. Okay, so now you may have seen that when your granny makes some sweaters for you, then she make dark colored sweaters, and when you go out, and mostly they are blue colored, white color clothes in the market for summers, cotton clothes. Why? Now see, colors also depend to create heatness or to catch temperature, absorb temperature. So now what happens, light colors are the best reflectors. Light color reflect. Light colors is white, lightish blue, lightish green. The light comes, some of it is absorbed and most of it is reflected out. It comes like this and it's reflected out. So in summers you will feel cool, you will not feel so hot. All the light will be sunlight, warm will be radiated. While what happens with these warmer clothes, darker clothes, that they absorb. Darker colors, black color obviously absorbs light. And also if you have seen in cameras or in pinhole camera, if you made in class 6, you would prefer to use a black color shade. Why? Because black color absorbs light and light is absorbed. So in winters, for example, there is lot of cold and then you need heat. Then if heat will fall on you and the cotton clothes will reflect it, then you will feel the cold. Then what happens, that the air comes and that dark color absorbs them. The heat is absorbed and that cloth becomes hot, which keeps us hot throughout our day. So this is why you know the scientific reason for light clothes for summers and dark clothes for winters. So this was all in this video. Please like, share, subscribe my channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon segment below to get regular updates of my videos. And also I recommend you to stay curious.